What would you say if I told you that 8 years before Batman Arkham Asylum entered our lives, another Batman game had been released? A game that set the stage for so much of what Arkham Asylum would come to be known for. A game set in the Batman the Animated Series world featuring the original voice cast from the show. What if I told you this Batman game had all its ducks in a row, with an impressive advertising campaign and a decent amount of hype, and then after it was released, it just kind of disappeared? Hi, my name is Joe, and I'd like to introduce you to the greatest Batman game you never played, Batman Vengeance. After an ad campaign composed of really badass Batman imagery, Batman Vengeance was released into the world in 2001. It was developed and published by Ubisoft in conjunction with Warner Bros. And DC Comics. Based on the Batman the Animated Series continuation, The New Batman Adventures, and featuring art and animation closely based on the acclaimed animated series. If you're a fan of those early animated Batman shows and you sit down to play Batman Vengeance, you can tell how lovingly it was crafted to imitate them. The loading screens match the style of the show's title cards. Gotham looks and feels almost exactly like the city we grew up watching in the show. The 3D animated cutscenes almost could have been right at home in an episode. The majority of the voice cast of the show reprises their roles, featuring the likes of Mark Hamill, Kevin Conroy, rest in peace to the GOAT, Tara Strong, Arlene Sorkin, and more. Batman Vengeance is a love letter to the classic Art Deco world that Bruce Timm, Paul Dini, and their team created with Batman the Animated Series. By 2002, it had been released on all the major consoles and PC, having versions for PlayStation 2, GameCube, Xbox, and Microsoft Windows. Wikipedia will tell you it was released for the Game Boy Advance as well, but that was a completely different style of game with the same name and almost same story, so, I don't think it really counts, you know? Batman Vengeance got pretty mixed reviews when it was released, being mainly criticized for its wonky controls and camera, while being praised for its style, sound design, and narrative. I've spent the last few years of my life obsessing over this game, combing through old forum posts and internet archive pages, looking for all of the information I can on the game's development and release. I've even hunted down people who have worked on the game, not in a creepy way, I promise, and asked them questions about it. And unfortunately, everyone I've spoken to so far doesn't really remember much about their time on the project. From what I've been able to piece together, there was a decent amount of hype leading up to the game's release, with lots of cool ads and interviews with team members on big video game websites, and then 2001 rolls around, the game comes out, and everything just fizzled. All of my research points to it quickly fading away, only being remembered sporadically by random folks in quiet corners of the internet. Did it just disappear completely from the face of the earth without making an impact? Faded to fade into obscurity forever? Well, not exactly. It definitely made an impact on somebody, many years later. Fast forward from 2001, and there's a young MTGJoeD idly browsing the used video games while on a trip to Hollywood Video with his mom. Spinning the rack, I saw a cover featuring Batman. A Batman that looked just like the one from my favorite childhood TV show. I don't remember how much it cost, but it must have been cheap as dirt because I was able to afford it with my baby boy child money. I took it home and excitedly booted it up, stoked to find out that all of these wonderful voices from Batman the Animated Series were there to greet me. I dove into the game head first and holy it was f***ing hard. I played the first few levels over and over and over again for the next few years, alternating it into the rotation of used games picked up from the video store. I don't think I ever made it past the Mr. Freeze boss fight.
It seems a good doctor was making bad medicine.
But I kept playing those early levels because I loved the art style and the voice acting so much. Eventually, I moved on from the GameCube to an Xbox, and then the Xbox 360, only revisiting the Cube every now and then, and Batman Vengeance kinda faded from my mind. Fast forward again to my, second try at getting a college degree. I was living at my dad's. Things were not going well. I met a new friend who helped re-spark my interest in retro gaming. Metroid Hatchling, actually, who streams retro games on Twitch now. Go check him out. I found my old GameCube and set it up right next to my bed. I wasn't sleeping much back then and started playing through my old games. And eventually, I found the copy of Batman Vengeance I had bought way back when at the now long gone Hollywood Video. I put it back into the disc tray, and the familiarity was calming. Until the Mr. Freeze boss fight, that is. Then I probably swore a bunch. But something about it instantly sent me all the way back to standing on the couch in the house on Squirrel Hill in Pittsburgh we lived in for a few years when I was a toddler. My mom had sewn me my very own bat cowl and cape out of one of my dad's old black t-shirts. I would stand on the couch, flex my little arms, and declare that I was, in fact, the knight, and fling myself off the couch in what my imagination told me was the most epic of bat leaps. I wanted to hold on to that feeling for as long as I could, so I decided then and there that it was time for me to finally figure out how to beat this kind of hard-to-control, weird old Batman game. And I did. And, well, I guess that's the end of the day. Oh, did I tell you that people speedrun this game? Yeah, and it's awesome. Okay, so if you're not familiar with speedrunning, here's the quickest, dirtiest version. You can play a game as fast as possible using tricks to cut levels and skip dialogue scenes. You play it over and over until you know, down to the pixel, where and how to move. There are tons of games, especially old games, that are hugely popular for speedrunning. It's unclear to me when the first ever speedrun of Batman Vengeance was recorded. When I first got the random urge to see if there was a run of the game, I found a page on speedrun.com that didn't have any runs, but after some Google searching, I found a video of a speedrun on YouTube posted on March 27th, 2017 from someone named JMan12, of them finishing what is currently known as the 80% category in an hour and 23 minutes. As time passed, someone started quizzing J-Man in the comments, asking them a million questions about the glitches on display. Then, on November 11th, 2020, someone posted a run to the speedrun.com page, getting the first verified world record for the 80% category. Then a New Game Plus category was created, and the world record for that was taken and pushed lower and lower as the years went on.
It's the world record, baby! It's back! It's mine!
Okay, yeah, that might have been too cheeky.
Gosh, you stinker.
I became completely obsessed with this game and its speedrun. I've spent an unknown amount of hours studying the game, its development, and trying to break it in as many weird ways as possible. I've collected sealed copies, reviewed demo copies, and every piece of ephemera related to the game I can get my greedy little bat hands on. I've been blessed with the chance to perform the speedrun at Midwest Speedfest, and recently got to showcase the run on the Games Done Quick channel for their Time Capsule Hotfix show, which was so much fun. Shout out to everyone involved with that. I had a blast. And the coolest thing about the speedrun, more people are getting into it. Ratton, known for running Minority Report, Everybody Runs for the GameCube, picked up the run, and we've traded the world record back and forth a few times for both major categories. Vinicius010101 came up with the idea for Cheat Percent, completed a run of that, and recently we've had new faces in the Discord doing all kinds of testing, task creation, and record breaking, like Agari, who at the time of writing this script currently holds the world record for New Game Plus, and has also discovered some new, really interesting things that we hope to add to the run soon. I think the speedrun for Batman Vengeance is so much fun, and it's such a cool way to help bring new life to a, for the time period anyway, really interesting and ambitious foray into the Batman video game mythos. Even if you don't ever intend to speedrun it, if you're even a little bit of a Batman the Animated Series fan or a retro gaming fan, I think you should take this game for a spin. Feel free to hit me up on Discord if you need help getting into the run or just setting up the game in general. I'm always happy to talk about Batman Vengeance.
Batman Vengeance is rated T.
I just want to thank all of my patrons on Patreon that made this episode possible. I couldn't do this without you. I want to thank my dollar tacos. I want to thank my $5 Phillips, Vesuvius, Thomas P., your true Bat family, and to my Nightwings and my Batgirls, the I Love You friends, patrons, the Driz fam, Megan. Thank you. I am the night.
Rolling.